So I've had a pretty gnarly headache over the last couple of days. Usually it's down to being a bit more dehydrated than usual, or just looking at my computer monitors for way too long. However, the reason for this headache is a lot more sinister than usual. The reason why I have a headache is because I actually chose to watch this film. I watched Disney's Artemis Fowl.
It is what it is.
If you haven't subscribed to the channel, by the way, I'm interrupting, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel, there's like a huge percentage of people that haven't subscribed. Wow, every YouTuber does this, but just subscribe, please! And I'll stop doing this. And I must say, it is murder to what these books were to me in my childhood. These books were more than just your average little... Oops. These books were more than just fairy tales to me. They were more than just... ooh, fairies and spies. These books carried depth. Owen Colfer is probably up there with one of my most favorite writers ever. I had the chance of meeting Owen Colfer when I was very young. I was like 10 or 11. I went to some book convention thing and I got a book signed from him, and it's probably one of my greatest achievements as a kid. At the time I was just like, oh cool, that's the guy who wrote Artemis Fowl. I should probably read the rest of the Artemis Fowl series. So after reading the Artemis Fowl series, I fell in love with it. I even got there was a game on the DS that I got. It was just reading the books on the DS. So I don't think it's really a game. It was worth it though, 100% worth it. I really fell in love with the Artemis Fowl world for quite a while, more than I would any other world, to be honest. There are a lot of franchises out there that, like Star Wars and Harry Potter that everyone's kind of into, but I felt like Artemis Fowl was my own thing, and I got to tell people about it, and people were like, whoa, that's cool, bro. At the same time, probably judging me really? A book about some kid who kidnaps fairies? Good one. Hearing that Disney were gonna bring out a film, I was worried. I obviously was worried. I watched The Rise of Skywalker. I was worried for anything that these guys ever put out from here on out. But I was genuinely really skeptical on this film, and I actually don't think they could have ruined it anymore. I'm all for making a film for kids and making it relatable, and at the same time keeping up with the times. It's a very important thing and very difficult thing for these movie studios to do. However, they just don't hit the mark with this film at all. I'm at a loss for words for how boring it was. I watched Critical's video on this last night, and he said that he was in and out of consciousness sleeping. I'm sure he was just watching it tired, but genuinely, I fell in and out of consciousness as well, and also had to take multiple breaks watching this film. I took 3 breaks while watching this film. It was that difficult to watch, and you might think I'm overreacting. It's genuinely that boring. I kind of lost what was going on halfway through. Luckily, I know what kind of happens because I've read the books, but it just doesn't really follow what happens in the books. It just kind of just falls short of what the books were. Massively, actually, not kind of. There was a part in the film where I was like, okay, it's gonna end now. I checked the film length. I had another half an hour left. I had another 30 minutes of pure torture. And though I thought, okay, maybe there's even more of a build-up, maybe it gets bigger than this, okay. It's just one big CGI fuckfest, that's what it leads to. It kind of reminds me of the Spiderwick Chronicles, if any of you are old enough to have watched that.
You little twerp!
That was a fantastic film, that was executed perfectly, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed the Spiderwick Chronicles. It could have been a lot more, especially with multiple more films down the line, but it was a good game. Oh, forgot I played the game on PS2. It was a good film, nonetheless. But it kind of reminded me of that. Some big house gets invaded with a big monster, and it's just a CGI fuckfest. And I don't want to mock their acting too much, by the way, because pretty sure, the main 2 leads are actually children. So I don't want to critique it too much, but I'll put it bluntly. No one taught them how to act. No one's ever told them how to act properly, and it shows. There are scenes that are so painfully dry and bland and just uninteresting, it's ridiculous. One of the first scenes that I would argue is probably one of the most important scenes in a film is where you first meet the character, and the character is bouncing off another character, and you think, wow, he's good. Instead, it's just Artemis is sat there with some old professor, and this professor is talking to him, and he's like, nice chair. And he has this weird accent. I didn't even know how to put it, dude.
Artemis, there is a problem.
The problem is that I know the textbook reply to any question you may choose to ask.
He has an Irish accent, which is, obviously he has an Irish accent, but at the same time it's a very posh, strong, English accent. So he has this kind of hello, and then there's a bit of Irish in there as well. I don't even know how to put it. It's just cringe. They try and build up the character with some past, he's really good at chess. He's beat XQC in 5 moves.
Didn't need it.
When he was 7, he beat European chess champion Evan Khashoggi in 5 moves.
It's whatever, right? And then you meet the narrator, who is going to bring you through the entire movie with a whole story. Now, the narrator is someone who actually appears in this story as a dwarf. He's a big, fully grown dwarf. His voice is actually worse than Artemis's. The whole film, he's putting on this weird, I am
The man. Oh no. This isn't about the father.
and it's just this grungy, horrible voice, like you're watching Dr. Mundo from League of Legends, just like reading you a bedtime story. It's just very difficult to watch. He's kind of like a Jack Black ripoff as well. I wanted to say that, but at the same time I was like, I mean, just because he's got a beard, it felt like a Jack Black ripoff. I feel like if they had just hired someone with a good sounding voice for that role, rather than having someone to put on a voice, it wouldn't have ruined the immersion as much as it did, because this really killed the immersion. What would have been nice, as a nice touch, is just have Owen Colfer just narrate the film. That would make more sense. Have the author narrate the film. But because they were going for some awful Harry Potter vibe, it ended like this. I mean, what the fuck is this? This scene, I've seen better in a fucking Tony Hawk game. Fuck it, goofy skateboarding.
Find and collect enough, you will carve up this course.
It's cringy to watch. It's actually just genuinely cringy. It's like watching some like middle school like short film that they've made for like media class. It's unbearable. It's just bad. The class is supposed to giggle and laugh at every mistake. But no. This is a $150 million budget movie. Mind-blowing. Now, their biggest actor in this film is obviously Judy Dench. Dame Judy Dench. And I haven't seen many Judy Dench films, but this is definitely the worst. This is definitely her worst performance. She obviously wasn't paid enough. Her accent's pretty good, but she sounds like odd. She's supposed to be like this like big like commander, like general or whatever. The whole way through, she's just got this weird, grungy, horrible, like ground up voice. Almost like the guy we just spoke about, the weird dwarf guy. It's just this forced, I love magic. It's like, what the fuck?
Knock it off. The delicate balance of peace in our world now hangs by a narrow thread.
Man, like the point is that magic exists, right? We don't have to like overdo it. Like we get it, alright? Magic exists in this world. Crazy. But no, instead it's just magic. I also just want to say how much I hate Disney CGI. It's gotten worse over the years. It just makes me feel like I'm watching a show on Disney XD. It's not actually the execution either. Because I think they do a great job of compositing and shit like that, right? Because that's how you make it believable, okay? It's the design. It's like there's weird like HUD designs they have, like this UI they have for all these like cool like fairy tech. Whenever they do it, it's just awful. During this film as well, I don't know what the fuck was going on in the editing team. I genuinely don't know what the fuck was going on. But there are parts where the frames drop.
Exterior only. I need the inside to be alive. I have to talk to that kid.
I think what's happened here is they've like compiled the entire shot with all the CGI, all the color grading and then to slow down the shot, they've actually just like reduced the speed, which obviously halves the like if you're reducing the speed of like a 24 frame scene, you're gonna drop the frames to 12 because you're watching a frame in half speed.
I have to talk to that kid.
It's one of the most unwatchable fucking things in this film. Like, more unwatchable than the fucking kid actor who played fucking Artemis Fowl. Sorry, bro, but like, holy fuck. It's also such a painful attempt to be what Guardians of the Galaxy was. I feel like that's what I was trying to get here, is like, was it trying to be Harry Potter, Guardians of the Galaxy, like throw the two in together? I think I know what Disney was going for. But it's so uninteresting. It lacks the depth that Guardians has. And Guardians was brand new with a whole new galaxy that like most people hadn't heard of. It's crazy. It's crazy that they had so much material to go off of and they ended up with it. Oh my god, it's clicked with me what fucking film this reminds me of. Bright. Do you remember that fucking Netflix film? The Will Smith, Bright? Oh my fucking god.
Hey, where's the diversity hire?
I got a dude in my car. I didn't ask for it, but the whole world is watching.
All this film's missing now is some cool, like, track from Logic.
Game, my father was kidnapped.
My father is dead.
My father was kidnapped.
My father is dead. Oh, shocker, dude. Such unbelievable acting and writing. I mean,
Can I trust you?
You'll have to. You have no choice.
all they need as well is a cheesy moment where they just dab. And we're good. I want to show a screenshot of my notes when I was watching this film. I think this brings it more to light on how bad this film is, if you're not going to watch it. I'm struggling to follow the story genuinely. I can't tell what side is which and who's on whose team. And there goes the budget. How long has Time Freeze been collapsing for? What the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck is this death scene? What? He's still breathing. Nothing more annoying than some stupid fucking child chatting shit in your ear. Oh good, he's not dead, wow. The voice acting is almost bad as the acting. Yeah, I mean, we all know there's no sequel coming. So my verdict on this, my final rating, half a beanie, one beanie out of 5. Oh, half a beanie. It's going back to half a beanie out of 5. I can't, like, pretend that it's, like, almost good, or, like, you tried. Like, you can't give marks for trying with this, because they did try, and they massively failed. This is a disgrace of a film. It's terrible. I hate the fact that, as well, the teaser trailer that came out, none of those scenes are in the movie. Could have been cool scenes. It's worrying, because you heard the same thing about Disney films, like The Rise of Skywalker. You hear that, like, oh, there was another cut that, like, was actually more watchable, or, like, oh, there are actually really good scenes that they just didn't want in the final cut, and you think, well, who have they got at Disney checking these films before they go out, and making them into these fucking garbage piles, dude? They're terrible. So yeah, that's my Artemis Fowl review, in short. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, and tell me you want to see more of these videos in the future, because this was quite fun. I enjoyed watching a film for a video. I did this years and years and years ago. I made like Paranormal Activity reviews, so that'll be in the end cards at the end of the video if you wait till the end of the video, or they'll be on the top right. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah. Bye.